Hello, everybody. This is your CEO of the More Knowledge Association. This is episode 6 of the More Knowledge Show. This time we're coming to you live, inside. So we're not outside today. The house was empty, so I decided to take advantage of that and record inside today because it's a lot easier to record inside. Plus, I have like a computer in front of me so I can hook up information when needed. But for the past 5 episodes of the More Knowledge Show, we've mainly been covering like the stock market, the central banks, trade, all that stuff, and each and every single episode we're trying to cover a new topic. So today we're probably gonna cover cryptocurrencies. It's been a lot in the news with the whole thing with Facebook and their cryptocurrency, and it's been talked a lot about everywhere. So we're just gonna kind of tie that all together. But the first thing I really want to say is that while we just talk about all these separate topics, really everything in this economy and world revolves around the central bank and the stock market. That's pretty much the world that we live in. You notice, I just want to make this point real quick. The central bank is responding to the markets more because they know as long as the market is rising and going up, that has an effect. That has a wealth effect. So people feel like they are. If people see their stocks going up, they're gonna feel like they have more money, even if it's artificially being pushed up. They're gonna feel like they have more money, so they're probably going to be more willing to go out and spend that money because they're gonna feel secure, or they're gonna be more, or companies, they look to the stock market as like a signal of when to invest their money. So it's basically as simple as this: if they can keep the stock market rising and they can keep interest rates low, regardless of how well actually people are doing, they can make the economy seem like the economy is doing amazing. It's simple as that. That's really all it takes. So that's why pretty much everything that we talk about can tie back to the stock market and to the financial system, because everything has been financialized. You can take pretty much anything and turn it into some sort of asset that can be traded and speculated on, and then you can take something that's already very risky, and you can leverage it up and keep on stacking it until you have an empire created by completely fake paper, pretty much. So anyway, so today we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies, and the first thing that I want to talk about is what are some of the problems with cryptocurrencies. So cryptocurrencies are a form of digital money, and I'm sure a lot of people know that, but it's not just any form of digital money. It operates on a blockchain where they can transact things without the use of a company in the center allowing the transaction to happen. So basically, transactions can happen easier, quicker. It's a lot cheaper to make transactions, and it's a lot more secure. So you can't go back and change things, and it's very transparent. So this new technology is being created and hyped up, and a lot of people think of it as an alternative to the current currency system that we use, where the money is printed by a central bank and it's centrally. Is basically, it's controlled, it's manipulated. It's every transaction you do has to well, not every, but pretty much, if you want to transact money, it has to go through some sort of uh, middleman, someone in the center. So and a lot of people have made a lot of money off of this. The pretty much all the banks have made a lot of money off of this system. The g- government has made a lot out of this system because the government basically has complete control over all of the money. They can print money and spend that money however. And but really, a lot of people have said that us people, we are not getting the best we can possibly get. So we're going to switch to these cryptocurrencies. Well, one thing that's always talked about with cryptocurrencies is that they're scarce. Because it's only a certain amount of cryptocurrencies that can be created in the system. That's how the system is created. Only a certain amount can be created. So you're not going to have like hyperinflation. But is it possible for something to be scarce that doesn't really exist? That's just one thing to consider, because it's still on a computer. So yes, that one particular type of cryptocurrency may be scarce, but someone could always create a new type of cryptocurrency with very similar attributes. And so because of that, I wouldn't really say it's an element or something that's real, because it can be like replicated. For example, if you take something like silver, there's only so much silver in the world. Okay, so it's actually scarce. You can't, like, once you get all the silver, you can't create something that's similar to silver. But you can create something similar to any of these cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of different types of cryptocurrencies, and they all are slightly separate, but they all kind of share the same thing. So the argument that it's scarce, I would not really say it's scarce. It's still something that's on a computer, and it can be created until like there's nothing holding it back from creating new cryptocurrencies. And another thing is, the majority of cryptocurrencies are not actually used as money, and that's a problem, because it may be a few people who hold cryptocurrencies because they actually think it's a great form of money and an improved way to transact across separate people. Some people actually think that it's a great form of transactions, and I would agree with that. Cryptocurrency technology is definitely an improvement off the current system. But the problem is, majority of people who hold cryptocurrencies have no intention of ever spending it. People that hold cryptocurrencies hold it because they think the price is going to go up. And because of that, it will never actually be adopted as real money and as a real way to exchange it. Because when the price goes up to a certain point, those people who are just holding it just to see the price go up are going to sell. And that's because these people have no real intentions to ever use it as money. These people, they still want to use the current system. They want to use dollars. They want to buy cars, and for right now, the only incentive to use the driving force behind cryptocurrency is not it's not the idea that it's one day going to become a currency. It's the idea that it might go up in price. And because as long as it's driven by speculation, it will not be stable. So as long as the driving force behind this currency is not to actually use it and exchange with people, but it's to see the price go up, it's gonna fluctuate, because it's gonna go up to a certain point, then people are gonna sell off, then they're gonna buy back into it, and that's why you saw, it went from 20,000 to like under 4,000 in like a year. That's not stable, and because it's completely used for speculation, And because of that, it's unstable. And because it's unstable, no company is willing to adopt it, because you're not going to accept a currency that could potentially lose half of its value in a single day. Like, that's just not going to happen. And another thing is that the governments are not just going to allow a decentralized form of currency to take over. All right, they like their control over the honey supply. Like, history shows, they're not really open to competition. Okay, like, you have to use their currency. You can only pay taxes with their currency. There are laws that that are set in place where the system is designed so they can control how much money is created, what are the interest rates, and all of these things. So this unless we have a complete shift in our government, or we have this big like revolution, cryptocurrencies are not just going to be adopted. And for right now, I would say I would rather hold dollars than I would hold cryptocurrencies. And the reason for that is, the two currencies are both, they're not, there's nothing behind it. Or it's not like there's nothing real behind it that you could hold and use for that will give it value. A dollar is just it's just a piece of paper, and cryptocurrency is just some programming on the internet. So they're both similar in that sense. But at least with the dollar, it has value. People see it as a store of value because it can still be used to purchase things. It can be used to pay your taxes, to pay your debts, to buy anything. At least the one thing that's behind the currency is confidence. And with the dollar, it is backed by confidence that you can use it to purchase things. Cryptocurrency is backed by the confidence that one day it will be able to perform the functions that a dollar can perform, but hopefully it will be improved. So it's like in a completely different league. The cryptocurrencies are in a completely different league. It's not a real currency, and the chance of it becoming a real currency is very low. It's not that the technology is bad. It's not that the technology. I have a kind of an idea of how it works. I don't have a great idea, but it's certainly not bad technology. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that it's not realistic that the government is just gonna hand over their control over currency, because that's a very big deal. They're not just gonna hand that over. They're not just gonna let the free market determine the how much a currency is worth. They want to make sure that they have control over the currency, so they can, for one thing, print money to fund themselves, and so they can run these. They can spend a lot of money, all right, because they're able to print money, so they can spend as much money as they pretty much want, and they want to have control, so they can have control over the economy. Okay, so if we start using cryptocurrencies, they're not going to have nearly as much control over the economy, because there's what the central bank does is going to mean nothing. And another reason, and of course the other reason, is that it's not a stable store of value. The purpose is for speculation. And not only that, another thing we need to consider is it costs a lot to mine these cryptocurrencies. It takes a lot of energy and real money to mine something that isn't real. All right, so let's think about that. When you mine for, let's say, silver, all that money you spent, you invest, your return is you get something that's real. You get silver. But you mine for these cryptocurrencies, you spend a ton of money, and then you get nothing real in return. Right now, the only reason people mine it is because they are speculating. They think it's going to continue going up in price. They're confident that it will continue to go up in price. They're not confident that it can actually be used as a currency or as a stable store of value. They believe that it can go up in price so they can then sell it and make a profit. It's as simple as that. People are not, but the system requires, the system right now is being completely ran off of speculation, and that's not going to lead to a real currency ever. That's just the simple fact. The technology could one day be implemented, but it's not going to be implemented the way people think it is right now. Though the way it is right now is simply unrealistic. So 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 how let's talk about Facebook and their currency, which is called Libra, Libra. Let's talk about Facebook. All right. So they're trying to use this blockchain technology to develop a currency that's, of course, is going to serve the functions of any cryptocurrency, but it's different from other cryptocurrencies. And I think that the fact that the currency created by this currency created by all right, check this out. Okay, this currency created by, I don't even know why this word is so hard to pronounce. Hold on, I got this. This currency created by Facebook. Currency created by Facebook, okay? The fact that this currency, which is a much more toned down version of all the other cryptocurrencies, for one, it is backed by these, it's backed by fiat currencies, my bad. So it's more stable. It's not used for speculation. Another thing is it's centralized. It's controlled by a group of companies, mainly Facebook. It's in the center. It's the main one controlling this. So it's centralized, it's stable, it's not used for speculation, and it involves the cryptocurrency technology. But the government is still not going to let this exist. And the fact that they're not letting this thing exist shows that these other cryptocurrencies have no chance. So the fact that we're seeing these other cryptocurrencies rise in value, celebrating this thing by Facebook, like it's going to raise their chances of existing, is kind of ridiculous. And another thing about the currency in Facebook, it's not going to happen. That's another thing. Not only is the government going to make sure it doesn't happen, people are not going to trust Facebook. They're going to try to claim how they're not really controlling the currency, but it's them controlling the currency. They're the main investor. They're the head. They're the one with the most power. So I just wanted to address that real quick. But anyway, we're gonna have to keep our eyes open. We are in earnings season. Like 12% of companies have reported earnings. Like 84% have actually topped their estimates. So far, earnings season looks like it may be topping expectations. But what's kind of holding the market down is that we've had some earnings for some companies. We have some warnings that still show that our economy may not be in the best position. So, it's something to watch. But, a lot of this earnings stuff, some information can tell you something that's important, but a lot of the information that we're told is just hype. It's just, a lot of companies can have one great quarter, but it's still a terrible company. So, yeah. So, earnings season, it's a lot of information. It's a lot to take in, and it has a lot of effect on the markets. But for right now, the markets are kind of flat. It's not really too sure how to feel about the earnings, even though the earnings are improvement over what was expected, and we may actually see earnings growth instead of earnings decline. There's still a lot of other risks. The market probably needs like some news on the trade war for them to actually start going up again. But anyway, that's today's episode of the More Knowledge Show. Can't even lie. I had trouble pronouncing. See, it's always bad. Like at the very end of the show, I can say everything pretty much. I can pretty much pronounce every word. But in the middle of the show, when I'm trying to give the important information, I can't say anything. But who cares? It's not a real excuse. It's kind of a stupid excuse. So I'm not even gonna edit that. I'm not even gonna re-record this video. We're just gonna release it, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Hopefully y'all understood what I was trying to say. But yeah, have a great day. Have a great week. I'll see y'all next week. We have an article coming up soon. I haven't even started it yet, but just know there's an article coming soon. So y'all can hold me accountable to that. Anyway, yeah, I'm out. Have fun. Yeah. All right. Bye.